is exactly what that guy said on the video. Like, women just literally find something that they know bothers you, and then they just, he said, but in this comic thing, he said, you won the argument when that happens. He said, that's when
it's tough though.
You step away, and you said, I won the argument.
Mine is the house. It's always something, like yesterday she got home. She was actually good when she got home from the trip, but it's always the house. She was standing near the garbage can in the floor squeak. She was like, there's something wrong with the floor here. And I was like, that floor squeaks since I finished the house. Why you gotta point that out every goddamn time?
They know how to take that.
She just knew.
That's when you know you won the argument. The guy's saying, once that happens, you leave. You just
Bill Burr we're talking about.
It's amazing how I win arguments in the first 11 seconds. Then, if that's the case.
Oh yeah. I can't keep. I gotta learn to walk away because then I just it builds up and then I snap. And
but then she'll say, "We'll talk about
this. Look at you.
We're gonna talk about this at another time when you're coming."
And she sees how you get your I can't even. How can I even?
She knows to get you.
How can I even argue with you? Look at you. You're being crazy right now. Well, yeah, I'm being crazy. You're needling me. You're making me crazy. You're making me crazy. But then I end up getting mad at myself. I'm like, why? Just walk away. Why do you overreact?
It's hard.
Can't help it. I'm psycho. All right.
Cut that out.
Cut that out. Totally normal. Yeah. So what?
So we're going to talk a little bit today about the cost of construction.
The actual financial cost, or like the cost of
the financial cost of construction for a client.
Okay.
So, why is construction so expensive? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And why do most contractors fluctuate their bid after the fact?
You mean charge for upgrades, get in the door, get the job, and then charge for upgrades throughout the project?
So you're saying in a really nice way.
You're saying upgrades.
You're saying upgrades, but homeowners don't see it that way.
Yeah, they see it as things you should have originally quoted in the price.
Okay, so upgrades is more about what we are.
Yeah.
Well, our projects, we price, when do we ever have a project that we did not price it properly? Only time that happens is if something is in the wall, there's an issue where we don't see.
Unforeseen issues.
But generally, the only time that our price goes up is when a customer adds something.
Yeah, like we give them budgetary numbers that we feel fit what we've talked about in our initial meeting with them. And a lot of times they'll go to the place and they'll end up picking the more expensive item. So they'll drive the cost up. But for the most part, we try to pick, we try to lay out the scope of work exactly how we know it needs to be done and let them drive the cost.
And that's all based on their house too. So when we go to someone's house, we can see what their house is.
Yeah.
We'll set their allowances, real allowances. Where we have a problem is this is probably why we lose jobs, is because we give people real allowances. So you'll have other contractors will come in and say, all right, we're going to give you a $2 a square foot tile price. And then, so their proposal will look less than ours, but we're actually giving them a $6 a square foot price because that's really what you're going to pick.
Mm-hmm.
So then the other part of it is they don't go to the job, they don't go and pick out the tile with the client, we do. So they send someone with a $2 a square foot to pick out a tile. That they're not present when the person comes over and shows them 2 tiles. In the whole store only are $2 a square foot. Well, now they have to spend more. They're not there for that conversation or that look, the what the fuck look. They're going to say, what are you giving us?
Yeah.
We go to those, so we make sure our allowances are right. And that's how we potentially lose jobs, because we are going to come in higher, but we're coming in real. Mm-hmm. Guys, when we just priced a big one out in Glastonbury. The guy, it was a 35 foot by 15 foot deck. They gave him an allowance of $10,000. We were at $30,000 for a deck. The customer said they want composite, AZAC, railings, high-end deck.
That won't even cover the material for that deck. But they don't know that, the homeowner, and then they're going to get whacked at the end of the project with that extra. Where we feel like if we're honest up front, we don't have to have that conversation in the end.
Right.
That awkward conversation.
But because of that, we probably lose jobs. So like for the instance, that job alone, I think we were $40,000 over the next bid. Well, that's because our deck generally the real deck costs an additional 20 grand. So they're going to get hit at that.
And that was just one item. We had vanities, we had countertops, we had tile, we had flooring, so all those items. That's why I try to drive home when we send out a proposal. make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Go through those items line by line and compare our numbers with their numbers. And if they're not giving you budgetary items, you have to go back to them and say, well, what's my budget on this deck? What's my budget on this floor? Because that will throw those numbers way off.
Are you growing sideburn chops?
Yeah, if I don't have any facial hair, I look like a child.
You kind of look like you got Elvis going.
I do. Now
doing
I'm gonna
straight
shave.
chops?
It was the hair last time, right? The hair. Point out the widow's peak. Hey, you growing your hair out? This time it's the beard. Jesus.
It just
What do
look
you got there? What's that?
you
What's
look
that?
You got chops.
Fu Manchu? No, that's not Fu Manchu. What is that thing? Jesus. He's you're 48 years old, for Christ's sake. Grow a goddamn beard.
I can't grow anything. I'm like a hairless person. What are those dogs?
Well, you shave, for one.
Well, I keep it tight, but
Yeah.
but I don't have a lot of hair anywhere. I'm not a hairy guy. All right, sorry, we got distracted. I just pictured Elvis.
I know.
With the
Well, the
chops.
thing is, you Tarzan the same shit. But then if I shave it, she's like, why'd you shave that off? I don't know. You gotta keep it. I hate it. The neck hair, the neck beard, it's gross.
Oh, like Jeremy does.
Do you have neck beard going on right now? Yeah. You're gonna feel all nasty with that going on.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either. All right, sorry about that.
Yeah. So anyway, we like to honest numbers at the beginning. Let them drive the cost up by picking budgetary items that are higher, but we try to find a sweet spot for what fits their house.
And the other thing, even like decks, like we're starting to realize we've lost a bunch of decks here lately. It's because we do more than most people do. We do the PVC skirt, the
Stair stringers, PVC,
stringers.
everything's completely 100% maintenance free. So again, they have to read through that. A lot of the terms we use, homeowners might not understand. So we're doing a better job at explaining that to homeowners, and we've even come up with we're giving them like good, better, best options, so they can still get a nice deck, and they can add as they like.
Well, we also want to make sure we're comparing against what other people are bidding, because other people are bidding different than we are. They're bidding a lower standard of a quality of a deck. We're coming in higher, but we're giving them a better deck, so they're not realizing what they're getting. So we're trying to break that down and explain it to them a little bit more. But I think that's the biggest thing. We don't generally, we price the projects right, and we don't ever have overages unless it's something in a wall that we just could not foresee.
Yep.
I mean, the only other time we have extras are if someone comes in and they want to add another light switch or
Accent
walls or a chandelier or stuff like that. That's the only time our jobs go over. We generally are right on it. And that's the difference. So you're going to get someone come in, price it $30,000 less than we are. They're going to eventually get to us with exactly what the homeowner wants. So.
Right, so back to part of the original question, which is,
I don't remember it.
I know,
It was cost, finance. What?
why is it so expensive?
There's a couple of things that drive that. One is building materials have obviously gone up over the past year.
25%.
25%.
From 2017 to 18 alone.
So to
Everything.
answer a question, you have to use the question and the answer. So I'm not in the video.
Okay.
So the reason,
The reason construction costs have gone up so dramatically in the past year and a half is that material costs have gone up 25% since 2017. That's a huge factor. Building codes throughout the country have gotten more stringent. You need more fasteners. You need the beams that we use are over calculated. We need better plans now drawn up to apply for permitting. You need brace wall calculations, heat loss calculations. So the days of just going in there with the builder drawing up something on graph paper and giving it to town, those are gone. So upfront costs can be upwards of $5,000 for a set of plans for a nice addition, whereas it used to be half of that, let's say. So those are two of the major driving forces. Plus, I would say a third is labor rates.
Yeah.
Right? Labor rates, it's competitive. There's not a lot of kids coming out of school that are getting into the trades, especially construction. They might be going towards HVAC, electrical. It's tough to get good help, so you have to pay to keep guys in-house with you.
And workman's comp and insurance.
Oh, yeah.
That drives, the cost from someone that's up on a roof compared to someone that's sitting at a desk for workman's comp is night and day.
Obviously, right?
So we have to, if we're gonna roof, our workman's comp is 3 times more expensive, and same with general construction. Our insurance is out of control. There's so many safety issues, so that's why it's so expensive.
And for us, we have to compete with guys that aren't carrying that stuff, that aren't carrying the workman's comp for roofing. So their costs are lower. So it's tough for us when we go to a job and they're like, well, that roof was $15,000. Well, yeah, if someone falls and dies, they're going to own your house. So, you know, you got to look at that when you hire a contractor, for sure.
So how do we educate the clients when looking at a contract or a proposal, as it were?
You know, it's a struggle to explain to a customer the differences in proposals. You know, you can always say we use this, you know, apples to apples, but you know, the deck ones are easy because we can point out the specific differences when we price a deck versus someone else. But full on-scale additions and proposals,
models.
they're very hard. You're basically it's kind of a.
And it's not just that, you're competing against HDTV and those shows that set people's expectations set unrealistic expectations. They think a project, you know, a whole house remodel is going to cost 65 grand when it's $200,000, you know, and it gets summed up in 2 weeks on television, you know, so they don't understand you're going to be in their house for 4 months.
I mean, the other thing for us that we're starting to do to help homeowners through this process of understanding costs is we're actually, you know, you're not supposed to. We ask the budgets up front now. We're starting to ask people's budgets, and if they're truthfully honest with us, we're going to design an addition or we're going to do a project based on what we think we can get them for that amount.
Yeah, it suits their
It's
budget.
not. It's not for us to charge them that amount, but it's for us to give them a realistic project. Because people come to us all the time where I have a 5x5 deck over here and I have a 12x12 deck over here and my budget's we price it and it's $18,000 and they only had a $10,000 budget. It just doesn't work that way. So we're spending a lot of time doing that. So what we're starting to do is ask people what their budget is. And if they're honest with us, we're going to give you a product that's going to fit your budget with what you want.
So a lot of people make the mistake, they'll go to an architect first and be like, hey, we want this elaborate remodel done on our house. And the architect might not be familiar with current costs and what they, you know, Jesus Christ, I can't talk, with current building expenses. So they'd be better off coming.
That'll get us on that
What's
channel. That's going to get us on the Jesus channel.
I know.
Jesus Christ. Hey, call that person right now.
They'd be
Send
better.
them photos.
So they show up to us with a full set of, you know, remodel the entire house, and they're on the impression it's going to cost them $100,000 to do, and it's truly $200,000. Where they would have been better suited to come to us first, tell us their budget, and we could design a project around that budget.
We just looked at one this week, you know, and it was a full house remodel, and he had a $150,000 budget. We're telling him all day it's going to be $200,000.
Yeah.
So you waste your time and money in paying.
And you paid the architecture fees. You know, you paid, like I said, upwards of $5,000 when you could have paid less for architecture plans and had exactly what was going to fit within your budget.
And then the other problem is that they look at us. The customer looks at us like we're crazy.
Yeah.
Because our prices, where our prices. But if we would have gone the other way and started out with a proper budget, we would have designed something to fit that budget.
Yeah.
So we're trying to change that, and that's one of
It's
the
difficult.
things.
It's a difficult transition.
Yeah, because people don't like that question. They don't like the budget
They
question.
feel like it's a loaded question. You're just, you know, digging for information. You're going to set the budget. But I guarantee 90% of the time, their budget's lower than what the actual cost will be.
Exactly. So it's starting to help. When people are honest with us, we can help them.
It saves us time, too, in the long run. You know, we don't have to come back, put together a detailed proposal for something that's never going to happen. If we, you know, at that initial meeting, we can kind of vet our customer. So it definitely helps us.
We gotta do that whole thing over the camera.
I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna record it this time.
I just started to black out.
So,
Like,
Yeah. What happened? Will Ferrell.
so then what advice can you give to potential customers and clients when it comes to looking at the cost? Because there are price shoppers out there
Sure.
that are just looking for price.
Yeah.
But the people that are truly looking to hire somebody that's going to do a good job in the time frame they say they're going to do it, what's some of the advice you can give those people?
Well, I don't know about giving those people, but I think we have to do a better job of targeting customers that aren't just shopping price. And we're trying to do that through our social media.
So how do you talk to the people that are price shopping and say, hey, look, stop price shopping because you're not getting the quality?
Well, we're learning that. We actually hired a guy named Sean Van Dyke, our business coach. He's actually helping through that part of it, and he's basically saying, he's telling us that people come to us and they've looked at 5 different contractors already.
Tell them you have enough.
Tell them, why haven't you picked one yet? And that's simply because there's keep shopping for price. It's not going to get better. We're never going to be the cheapest.
Or you can kind of say to them, if you're shopping for price, there's a reason why you haven't picked them yet. You don't like them, or there was something that perturbed you about them. So
You don't trust them.
Yeah, you don't trust them. So yeah, we might be higher, but there's a reason why you go with us.
Our reviews, I mean,
Yeah.
we do our, it's not only quality, it's relationship, but we have
It's our
great
level of
reviews for
service.
a reason. We deliver on what we're going to say. I think that's a hard question. That's a tough question to.
But we kind of eliminate that with the whole budget thing at the
Yeah.
beginning. I think
We're starting to
making
eliminate
sure
the
they're a
price shoppers.
serious customer, serious prospective customer.
And everyone wants the best price. We understand that, but you also have to. That has to also go hand in hand with what type of job you get. It's the old adage: you pay for what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, that hasn't changed over the years. So if you wanna lowball someone, a contractor, to get your price down, you're gonna get what you pay for. You're gonna get a contractor that's not gonna bring you the quality and the service that maybe you wanted, and then you're gonna be sitting there saying, "What did I do?" If you would have paid a little extra money, you would have got a better contractor, better service, better quality, and you'd have a happier product. When you price shop and you lowball people, what you get is you're gonna get the guys that are gonna come in and ram it through and get out of there, or leave halfway through the job.
Yeah. Or be unorganized. The job's going to drag on for months and months on end.
It's just going to end up costing you more headaches, more money, more just in general, more anxiety. And if you would have paid an extra couple $1,000s, you would have that job done faster, quicker, and better.
And if you're a homeowner, there's so many outlets out there to research your contractor that there's really no excuse to hire a poor contractor. You should do your due diligence before you hire one.
Yeah,
With
Google
websites,
reviews.
Google reviews. Obviously, word of mouth is still a great tool.
Customer testimonial videos, we have those. I mean, that's you can tell what kind of contractor we are by our website and our social media.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference. So, did that answer the question?
I don't know.